Kenny Chesney was on Bobby Bones' podcast. His podcast is one of the few that got picked up by Netflix to be exclusively like shown in the video format on there. You can still listen to it on the podcast app, but if you want to watch it, you have to watch on Netflix, which I think is awesome. I haven't had a Netflix subscription in years, and I will have it back for that and for Alex Earl's family's reality show and for Jake Shane's podcast. Anywho, so Kenny Chesney was being interviewed, and he was talking, they were having a general conversation about like accumulating wealth and like being good to your people. And Kenny Chesney had said that his favorite part about, obviously he has tons of money, and his favorite part of that is being able to help people, like people in his personal life and people who work for him and whatever. And he was telling the story about how when he kind of was first, it sounded like the context he was giving was like in his earlier days when he was first getting the ability to make big impacts like this. And he would take the merch sales, or before each show, he would like pull a name from the hat or something of a crew member who's working on the tour. And whoever's name got pulled got the merch sales from that night's show, which he was saying could be hundreds of thousands of dollars, life-changing money to people, to anyone, or to most people for sure. And he was saying how much that meant to him and how much he loved it and how much obviously the crew loved it. And then he was saying how naturally they all started to, rather than just have one person keep it, they would all share it amongst themselves. And so every night the crew would split the merch sales, which I think there's so many components of that are just good and made me happy. One, I love his answer of like, I love being able to help people. Even Bobby in the moment was like, wow, that's a really good answer. I think people, especially some people who get that kind of notoriety and fame, they usually, I think, want it in a materialistic way. And so therefore when they get it, that's what they're excited about. I was excited to buy my first Lamborghini or buy a huge house or whatever. His very quick, honest answer, much like I was talking about last time with Fernando Mendoza, his quick, honest answer was like, I love getting to help people. So I think that's really cool. I think it's really cool that he thought to do that. He could have kept every penny for himself and just given people, paid them their wage of what they were, for the work that they were doing. But like introducing that aspect of the drawing and the excitement and the anticipation, and then giving that lump sum to someone is truly like, that's a really cool way to help someone. And then having the crew be like, you know what, actually, let's all split this and share it. And I think that's cool too. I think all points of that story, all intersections of that have like really cool through lines. And I also think that the crew's willingness to like, hey, let's just share it. Right. That tells me that there was obviously dependability that like this was going to happen every single night. And so they got smart and were like, well, I don't know how many people are on Kenny Chesney's crew. I'm sure there's more than 100, but I'm not that good at simple math on the spot like this. And so let's say $100,000, or $200,000 of merch sales a night, 100 people on the crew. I see the argument of like, well, we're doing 20 shows. Why don't we all make an extra 40 grand just because Kenny's being nice, right? $2,000 a night, 20 shows. Yeah. Hopefully that's right. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, I just think that it's really cool and speaks to the culture that he must exude while working. And that is like, we're better together. We're, work as a team. No one's better than the next person. And I liked that. So that was my first thing and some good stuff.